right. I may or may not be live right now. I'm just going to give it a few minutes. I know I said 9. I am a little bit late. Again, Facebook keeps changing things. So I've been trying to get on for like more than 10 minutes already. Okay, so let me pull this up on my phone. I cannot believe how cold it is in San Diego, you guys. If you're hopping on, let me know in what part of the country you're in, what state or what country, what part of the world. Hang on one second. Let me get this up and let me mute myself so I can see you guys as you come on. I'm so excited to talk to you about this today, guys. I have been doing this for myself for many years. Okay, so I should be able to see your comments now as you pop on. I've got my phone set up over there to do that because, again, it's not showing comments here. So every year has the energy of a specific number. In numerology. Now, I'm not a numerologist, but this is something that I have dabbled in for myself for many, many years. Good morning, Carol. It's good to see you. So today, what we're going to talk about is the energy of 2022, what the numerology energy is, and how to use that in your real life. As you guys know, here we deal with a lot of like what's going on in the real world, what's going on in our real lives, and how do we apply these spiritual tools, these energetic techniques to our real life, because that's where we live. I'm going to give a couple more minutes just in case anyone else wants to pop on. Like I said, I know I am late, but definitely let me know where you guys are, whether you're watching live or on the replay, and how cold is it where you are? Because you guys can't see it, but every now and then I could see my breath in here. It is so cold. It's just abnormally cold for San Diego right now. Okay, so let's get right into this. And again, if you're watching on the replay, I'm excited for you to get this information whenever you get it. Hopefully this finds you sometime in 2022, because you can use it anytime, whether you're setting it up before the year or towards the end of the year. And right now, this is going live in the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group, but I'm going to post it to YouTube later because I know some people like to watch it there. And if you want to invite new members to our group, now is the best time because we're going to be doing a free workshop later in January, a free 5-day about getting signs from the spirit world. And I'm going to walk you through how to do that several different ways over a 5 days. So it's going to be a 5-day free workshop. You guys know I love those, and we haven't done one for a couple months. So let's do one. Okay. Good morning, Mark. It's good to see you. So 2022, we're going to talk about the universal energy of the year. So 2022 is a 6 year. How we find that out is 2022, right? 2022. You add all those numbers together to get to a single digit. 2 plus 0 is 2. Add another 2 is 4. Add another 2 is 6. So 2022 is a 6 year. What does that mean for you? I made a bunch of notes for myself because I want to really make sure I dive into the areas in life that this is going to affect, the energies that you can expect to see across all areas of your life. Now remember, this doesn't mean it's your personal year 6. This is a universal, global year 6 because we're all in 2022. There's a way to figure out your personal year by using your birth date and all that. But this is for everyone, so this applies to us all. It's the general energies we're working with globally, but it also affects us personally, similar to like a weather report. So how we do the weekly readings, and those are the energetic weather report for the week. This is the energy of the year that we can expect for the year 2022. Now, 2021 was a 5. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. So 2021 was a 5, and a 5 indicates change and turbulence, conflict, large and small in different ways, disruption of patterns, and and the intention is to go through these turbulent waters like rather than smooth sailing, so that we can shift and change, because the 5 energy is all about change. So now we're moving forward to a 6. We're leaving that 5 year behind in just a couple days here, if you're seeing this before the new year. Six is about the calm after the storm, because how we talked about five is turbulent waters. So if the five is turbulence, the number that follows it is the calm after the storm. It's the picking up of the pieces, rebuilding after that turbulence, after that storm, and finding new equilibrium in all areas of our life. And what we want to do for an action around that is kind of look at the different areas of our life, home and family, work, career, long-term goals, health and wellness, and just see, am I in balance in these different areas? Because this year is like a reckoning about coming into balance. Now I'm going to go through these different areas with you and let you know what to look for. Sorry, my voice is a little bit you guys are the first people I'm talking to today, so my voice is not fully awake yet. Okay, so relationships are going to be incredibly important in a 6 year, which is 2022. What does that mean? It can look like new people coming into our life, and it doesn't necessarily, don't limit yourself as to how these things might show up, right? So it might be you finding a new person to follow on social media that you really like and enjoy the way they teach or the messages they bring. It could look like new people coming into your life in any way. So the new people that do come in a 6 year tend to be pretty important, and not necessarily by like weight of their significance in our life, but they either bring about new opportunities, recognition of something we're doing or not doing. So these relationships that are formed in a 6 year can be really pivotal and can stretch throughout many years, like the ripple or the aftershock of their presence in this 6 year can ripple throughout many years. The other thing in relationship is we want to work on finding balance and honoring ourselves and others. So in the last couple years, I know a lot of us have really gone within. We've really taken a break from, the outside world in some cases, from friendships. And it's just coming into balance again with that, of making sure we have relationships in our lives, because we're relational creatures. It's important in this human experience to have relationships with others, but also making sure we're still honoring that time for ourselves, that the breaks that we need. So finding that balance between relationships and giving to others and making sure we're taking care of and giving to ourselves. Balance is going to be a theme throughout this 6 year. Good morning, Emily. So just be aware that I'm going to keep talking about balance because, 5 is an upheaval year. Everything's still topsy-turvy and crumbling a little bit, and 6 is the rebuild, the rebalancing. So we're going to talk about balance a lot. Okay, let me move back to relationships. So yeah, making ourselves a priority, our own time, our own goals, our own things that we're working on, but also finding a way to make relationships a priority as well. Now, the other thing with relationships in a 6 year is community and connection are incredibly important. So you're already doing something right because you're in this community. So you've got a community. Now, this could be communities like this on social media. It could be your community as a whole, like in the area that you live in, but it's also about our global community. And as global citizens, how are we showing up? How are we balancing, the things we want for ourselves as an individual versus the things that we need as a global community in our, in our world. Also, it moves smaller from that. So your world, your part of the world, your country, your area of that country or state, if you have those, your town, your city, and then the neighborhood you live with, your block, or however it is where you are. So since this is a global energy, we're looking at, relationships and community on a more global scale. What communities are you a part of? What communities are you not a part of? What communities do you want to be a part of? Or how can our communities assist each other? So we're really looking at rebuilding community this year. That's going to be really important. I have some little action steps in here for us if we're wondering, like, okay, what do we do? Let people know when you appreciate them. That'll be a really great thing to do this year because we're really wanting to foster these relationships that we care about with people that are important to us. So it can be as simple as just letting someone know when you appreciate them, not just something they did, but them. I appreciate you as a person. I appreciate, your laughter, your personality, whatever it is. The other little thing to know is make socialization a priority, which I know in the last couple years has been tough for a lot of us, but just we're moving into a 6 year, and in a six, we want to make that a priority, meaningful relationships, friendships. So it's not just about new people coming in, it's about fortifying, strengthening, reconnecting with those that already were important in our lives. Okay, so that's what I have on relationships. And remember, this is a general global, excuse me, like I said, my voice is still waking up. Um, this is a global energy, so it will show up for each of us differently in our specific lives. But the six, since all of the world is in a 2022, a 6 year, we're all working this energy. Okay, firm foundations moving forward is going to be another important pillar of this year. Now, think about what it means to rebuild after like a natural disaster. Some of us have gone through that ourselves. Some of us have seen that in different parts of the country or the world. Things are torn down so we can build anew, but it's so important to put effort into building strong foundations that we can continue to build on for years to come. So, in the things that have slipped away in your own life, in your own community, where are the foundations you're needing to put effort to rebuild? And like I said, make sure that we're putting effort in a way that will, be strong and fortified for years to come. There's a strong need to be grounded this year. So making decisions from a very grounded, very solid, from a foundational place. So what's your foundation? Where are you needing to be in integrity to make choices and decisions that are going to affect for the rest of our lives? Of course, we're always free to make another choice, but some of the things we're working on rebuilding, reestablishing, making foundation for this year will affect us for multiple years. Just good to know. Also finding peace and harmony with all. So whether that peace means, spending less time with someone so you can focus more efforts on community or on relationships that you do need to focus on, that's okay. But really just finding a way to peacefully coexist, to peacefully be in community or in relationship on a bigger scale. Okay, what else is in here? Do your work. I love that one. I think Jan Van Zant, who you guys know I talk about all the time, was the first person I heard say that. But we are spiritual beings having a human experience. If there are emotions coming up for us this year, we need to do the work to look at those emotions, to sit with those emotions, find out where they are in our body. This is not the year to push those things down, to set them aside, to save them for later. That's not building a firm foundation. So if you want to have this firm foundation for this 6 year to go forward with, we need to really do our work spiritually, emotionally, mental health, personally. So this is going to be a great year for revitalizing our health in all the ways. I'm going to get to health in just a second. That's a big one this year too. 6 is a relationship year, community year, foundation, health, rebuilding. So lots of things going on in a 6 year. But it's a good, good energy. It's not fully smooth sailing, but it's not a totally turbulent energy too. There's work to be done in a 6 year, and that's why it's so great to know ahead what are the types of work we can be doing. It's just like a weather report, right? So it's like, okay, this is the type of weather I'm going to have. This is what I need to be prepared for. So this is the type of work that's going to be highlighted for us this year. Where can you utilize it to make a more firm foundation, build the life you want for yourself? So really addressing emotions this year, not pushing things down, not shoving them aside, not saying I'll deal with that later. It's time to deal with all the past that you haven't dealt with, if that's you, and the things that come up throughout the year. Do your work. Okay, stability and regularity or consistency are our friends this year. So because we're in this year of rebuilding and growth, finding stability, finding consistency, even in small ways, can really be a friendly energy for us. It's something to ground into because, right, grounding is so important. Okay, health. 6 is also a year about health. So it's a good year, we just talked about foundation. It's a good year to reassess the foundation of our health and wellness habits, our personal habits, and like I said, since this is a global energy, global health, which it's crazy how these things line up, but I mean, it's pretty obvious we need to be dealing with global health right now. So not just physical health, but also the health of the planet. That's going to be a big thing we're going to be seeing work around this year, and things can bubble up. So who knows what's going to happen? You guys know I don't believe that the future can be predicted in that way, but we can look at these energies and see, okay, the health of the earth is a concern this year. The health of us globally and as global community and as smaller communities is going to be really important this year, and how we can work on it personally and in our own small communities. Like I said, good year to reassess the foundation of the health choices that we are making in our own lives. Because remember, we display these things to other people in our lives. So even if the community for you is just your friend group, how you treat your body, how you focus on health, how your habits display, even if you don't know that they are, will affect, inspire others. So it's really important. So, what are your own self care and wellness routines that you have? Can is there an opportunity for you to make a more firm foundation with consistency or with your goals? Maybe it's reassessing your goals. Maybe your goals were in an old pattern of thinking, and now your goals are just going to be more about health and vitality instead of like physical appearance, for example. That's one I always work with. Okay, so health is like I said, going to be really important this year. All the kinds of health, so physical health, mental health, and I do feel like there's going to be just a focus on mental health this year. I think it's well overdue. So let's see how that shows up. Okay, another thing with a 6 year is it is a year of responsibility. Now, I know this is not always what we want to hear, because we're like, oh, more responsibility. We have a lot of responsibility. This is more about making choices for ourselves. And what I mean by that is it's no longer going to work to say, oh, whatever everyone else wants. On a global scale, it's no longer going to work to say, well, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to give my opinion. I'm not going to participate in this global community or this national community. That's not going to fly this year. We all need to be in cooperation this year. We can't just go along to get along and hope everything's going to turn out okay. That is what the 6 brings to us, is this need to be involved, to have an opinion, to have a standpoint, to help the community. Yeah, so we're gonna, it's for some of us, it's a little bit outside of our comfort zone, but that is one of the things that the 6 year highlights. Also in a 6 year, we can look at the astrological 6th house. So the 6th house is work. It's not necessarily like our lifelong career passion, but it's the work we do day to day. So really reevaluating how we manage our time to do the work we have to do. That not just work, like I said, like your career or your long-term goals, but like the day-to-day of your job. What are you doing day to day? What are your day-to-day tasks? What are your day-to-day tasks at home? It's the combination of things that make our life run. So there might be some challenges to that. And what I mean by challenges is like challenging the way that we've done things in the past, what's not working anymore, and how we want to rebuild or reframe that for the future and going forward. Yeah, it's our health, vitality, service is a big theme this year, and daily routine, and how do you choose to approach these? So, if you're running a company, how are you choosing to have other people show up and take responsibility for the work that they do day to day? Are you micromanaging, or are you, setting your team up for success, for example? And this can be a lot of different ways, like I said, because we're all individuals, but since it's a global energy, it's going to affect all of us, especially as it relates to community, family relationships, those kind of things. Okay, so look at those things that we do out of necessity, and reevaluate based on what we've learned up to now. So there are a lot of things that we've done in the past out of like necessity, feeling like we need to do this, we need to push forward. And since the 5 year was about change, 2021, 2022, we're stepping into this year of reassessing. Are the things we're doing to make our life run, the things we do out of necessity, are they working in the way we've been doing them? This is a chance to shift, to make anew, to revitalize. depending on your own situation. And even as it relates to our community in a bigger sense, the things that we've been doing out of necessity, are those working anymore? And how can we reinvent them or just look at them in a new way? This is also a great year to reinvent yourself. So if you've been tucked away in the last couple years, this is a great way to reassess what's working and not working and revise as needed. It's a wonderful year for reinvention, right? Because we've just had this big change, some of us, some of us within our communities. And it's just a year to reinvent how we want things to look, because we are the master creators. So it's our responsibility to create. Again, responsibility, right? It's up to you to make choices towards the life you want. You have all the power and you have all the responsibility. So that's what a 6 year is about. Okay, so I have been trying to keep these to 20 minutes and now we're at 20 minutes. So I'm going to give you some key takeaways and then we'll be done. Okay, so some key takeaways for us to remember. It's not a year of fully smooth sailing, but it is going to be a wonderful year to set that foundation, set the tone for all the things we want to build on going forward. So anytime there's growth, there's going to be things that don't feel necessarily smooth, but it is for our own highest and greatest good as individuals and as a larger global community in every way. Okay, next takeaway, we are building a new foundation for anything that has broken away in the past couple years. So just keep that in mind as you go through this year, building a new foundation. Balance is the goal. So in all areas of our life, but especially as it relates to our day-to-day tasks, our relationships, and our health, balance is the goal in all those areas. Next takeaway, fine-tuning of our relationships, being honest with ourselves and others. So like I said, relationships, big and small. So interpersonal relationships, but also community relationships on small scales and on grand scales. And just really getting very honest with ourselves and others. So like this is where it's like doesn't feel so comfortable, but it needs to happen. Okay, health and healing is now a priority. So if you've been putting that off, if you know, and I know obviously globally we for so many years put off the health of the planet, the health of, you know, other communities outside of our own. It's now a priority. I'll just say it that way. So health and healing, both individually and on a global scale, is now a priority. And I just want to say, don't discount your own personal healing because you are part of larger communities. And, you know, it's like one domino can set the rest off. So you doing your own healing and your own work and focusing on your own health and wellness can really make an impact in a larger community. So don't discount, you know, the value of taking care of yourself. Personal responsibility, life is what you choose, seek your own approval, you know, in a loving and kind way, but seeking your own approval instead of other people's approval. And what is the integrity? What is the character that you want to live up to, that you want to live into? So having personal responsibility around your own integrity, your own, you know, being congruent with your beliefs, but being kind and loving to yourself at the same time, of course. Okay, so some positives that we just need to hang on to and remember. New possibilities. This is a year of new possibilities in the most beautiful and amazing ways. And I'm so excited to see through the year how new potentials and possibilities present themselves to all of you. Growth and expansion. This is a year that we can really grow and expand. You know, think about again, just that what happens after the terrible storm. It's this time of growth, expansion, rebuilding, reinventing. Build your foundations consciously and intentionally. So putting effort to not just what's happening today, but what you want to build long term. I have a little quote for you that came to me, which I just love. Castles made of sand fall into the sea eventually. That's Jimi Hendrix, for those of you that are music lovers like me. So I am so excited to get to be with you in 2022. I'm going to start being live at least once a week. If you guys missed it, I posted a video yesterday about how to clear and bless your calendar for 2022. Yeah, so I was really excited to do that. I just was about to do my own, and then I kind of got a nudge from Spirit that was like, "Why aren't show people how to do that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I could show people how to do that." So you guys know I'm sending you so much love. I think this is going to be an amazing year for rebuilding and setting a foundation. And really, as you guys know, I'm always wanting to build community. So just focusing on community building and uh, rebuilding our foundation in an incredibly positive and forward moving way. So let me know how this hits for you guys. Tell me in the comments some goals or some things that this just really stirred up that you know that you're going to be focusing on in 2022. And it is always so good to see you. I'm sending you lots of love, big hugs, and bye for now.